Hello, Star Wars and unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I am your host, Darth Tuba. Check out all my videos. Like, subscribe, share, let the world know. And check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Darth Tuba. And my Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing page on Facebook. So, today we have kind of a different opening. We have two items, two, that are items that I ordered through eBay. And one is a very old item. One is a not so old item, but still kind of rare. And then lastly is kind of a special item. And I'm actually going to go in reverse order. I think. Yes. I think I want to do this one first. And then we'll do this and then this. Okay, so let me just kind of reset myself up here. I do often look for some interesting purchases on eBay. And I find some pretty cool things. So, let's first talk about this. Now, this is an item that's kind of weird, and that's one of the things I collect. That's one of my niche items, all right? I try to keep up with as much Hasbro, 3 3/4 inch collectibles as I can. I delve into things with Gentle Giant and with Sideshow and Hot Toys. Not every single item, but, you know, a few. And then I try to look for the weird. Look for the, I like the Hot Wheels. I like some of the less expensive itty-bitties from Hallmark, things like that. And the ornaments, but I try to find some weird stuff. Why? Because I just think it's interesting. I just think that what I am most interested in when I look back in the last 40 years are the odd items, the things that really were kind of strange or maybe had an interesting story about them. So as a collector, that's something that interests me the most. And I was able to find an item that, well, if you're not into the collecting this type of thing, you probably have, at least in your hometown or near your hometown, have heard of something like this and everything else. And it has to do with sports, specifically more often than not, baseball. Baseball has historically had all sorts of themed days to get people to come to the stadiums. Okay, they may have free bat day or free baseball cap day or any number of days that you can go in. And the first 30,000 people, 10,000 people, whatever, get a bat or a base or a special edition baseball or some type of memento of the day or the sport or whatnot. Well, several years ago, Lucasfilm started getting in on this, and they started having allowing likenesses and whatnot to be put on product to be given away or sold out in what they call Star Wars Day. And all different teams do it, and all different teams all over the country have them. Even minor league teams do it, and to a lesser extent. It's all over the place. So I have never been to, I must confess, I've been to baseball games, but I have never been to a Star Wars Day. There is a local minor league team that does it every year, but when they do it every year, it falls right at a time when my regular job I'm involved with something that I can't miss. It almost always falls on the day that I have to be at my job, and there's no way to work around it. So I never can go. This year it almost happened because it happened to be a week earlier than the Star Wars Day baseball event was a week earlier. So I was planning on going, but then it started to pour, and I said, you know what? I don't want to be there for that. So I looked on eBay. Lots of people get the little trinkets that they give away, and I have to say this one was a favorite because not only is it a Star Wars item, but it's also a baseball item that I kind of like. So I'm going to present it to you now, and it is this little guy. Now, for those of you uninitiated in the area of baseball, and by the way, I am not in any way a sports fan. I do understand the game of baseball. I have, as a kid, I went to a lot of baseball games. I played Little League, that kind of thing. But I don't follow sports very much anymore. But still, I've always had this kind of, I've taken a liking to the Philly Phanatic. And this is for this is the mascot of the Philadelphia Phillies, which is a pretty close baseball team to where my neck of the woods is. I'm in the East Coast. So it is great to see a bobblehead of the Philly Phanatic dressed up in an X-Wing pilot outfit. They do a lot of things, so I'll take this guy out now. They do a ton of different items, and a lot of times they'll have like their star players dressed up as Jedi or stormtroopers with the helmet off, that type of thing. But I had to say that I just thought that, oh, look at that guy, Red Leader. There he is. He's got his little bobblehead. I just think that I always thought, for one thing, I remember I went to I think it was a Mets versus the Phillies game when I was a kid, and it was amazing to me because the Philly Fanatic came out on an ATV or whatever, four-wheeler, and he just started like driving into while the players were warming up. He started like trying to run them over, and they'd have to jump out of the way. It was hysterical, absolutely hysterical. So I always thought he was great. And I'm not gonna, and I'm not the kind of person that's gonna try to collect every single one of these. I mean, they come out with new ones every year, and they're reasonably priced. They're not anything, you can find them on eBay. They're not crazy priced, but this is great. I just love the sculpt. I love the fact that Lucasfilm, this is brand new. This is 2017. Okay, that Lucasfilm okayed this, and there's only one other one that I would like to find if they ever do it, or if they have done it. I have not found it yet. I don't know if they did it, but that's the other mascot I like is Mr. Met for the Mets. He's just a big giant baseball head. He would be the other one that I would want to find a thing. I saw something, but I think it was like life size or something, and it was thousands of dollars, and that's not what I'm looking for. So there's the Philly Fanatic. My wife used to call when she was a kid. She used to say the Philly Fanana, and I sometimes forget that sometimes. So, and I mix it up. So we'll put him there. So, baseball and Star Wars together. You can also find jerseys. You can find all sorts of stuff. It's pretty cool. All right. So next we'll go to the second large item. Okay, and I think this is actually a newer item, if I'm not mistaken. Some of these things I ordered a while ago. Oh, packing peanuts. Ooh. Oh, yeah, this is, okay. Ooh, it came in a star case. All right, cool. This was purchased from eBay user David J. Monkey. So if you're looking for stuff like in this vein, David J. Monkey would be the person, all one word, David, David J. Monkey. Okay? There is a lot, and I mean a lot, of opportunities to fill your collections on on eBay. There's just tons of items, and people are selling things left and right. And yes, sometimes they're selling things at an inflated price, and it's a shame. But at the same time, when items are less popular or less, what do they call that? Then when the stock in the casing is less, maybe there's only one figure of one type of character in a case where there might be 5 of another one. Rarity is there, and the only way you can get it is to either be there when that case gets opened in the store, and there are guys and girls who go out and wait at the store. Maybe they get to know the store manager or the store owner, and they let them know when they're coming in, and they go in and they buy the toys. So that's what it is. So they can become hard. So of all the different Star Wars I'm talking about the last 20 years, recent Star Wars figure lines that have been released. There have been a ton of them. There's been the Vintage Collection, the Black Series. Each movie had their own. Power of the Jedi, Power of the Force 2. I mean, they've all had kind of names. The Clone Wars. There have always been the figures that were easy to get, and sometimes a handful of figures that are harder to get. So I've been trying to pick out through eBay figures that are harder to get. And this is the one that I was able to find that I have not been able to get, and I'm so excited, and that is the Black Series, number 18, Darth Plagueis. Okay? Now, Darth Plagueis, for those who don't know, he, if you recall, if you see the movie The Revenge of the Sith, he is the story, he's the character that Palpatine tells Anakin about, the one who can keep people from dying, and he taught his apprentice everything he knew, and the apprentice killed him in his sleep. Well, then later there was a book called Darth Plagueis, and it has now been relegated to legend status, but Darth Plagueis was a book, and there was the whole story of who this character was, and what was he like, and how Palpatine kind of rose as his apprentice, and then eventually killed him in his sleep. So it's a fascinating character. I understand it's legendary now, so they could decide to bring the character back. I mean, obviously the character exists because in the movie, Palpatine talks about Darth Plagueis. But this is a rendering. This character is a rendering of what that character might be. Okay, and he's got a lightsaber. He's got a staff. It's pretty cool. Now I know I said I would unbox. I would do unboxings. I did not realize that they gave me. Not only did they give me a Black Series. They didn't just give me a case, a star case, but they gave me a specific star case for Black Series, which I don't own any. And I don't think I want to open this one fully at this point. Okay, so yeah, sometimes, once in a while, once in a long while, I will keep a toy in the box. And I do have some, and we've taken you through the Star Wars room, and you've seen that there have been some things I keep in the card. So this one's gonna, we did unbox it. We took it out of the original, mailing package, but we're gonna leave it there for now, just because, it's a rare, very rare figure. A nice, unique star case that I don't have another star case like that. It's a little more slender, and it won't fit any other figures. So that's what it is. But thank you, David J. Monkey, for your business. Okay, and now we're going old school. Last item. And this one I'm pretty sure is not in a box, other than the box that it came in mail. Okay, this one's very, very good packing. And inside the box, we have another box. Or not a box, but a bag. Okay, so let me just move this out of the way. All right, now what do we got here? Well, we have the Imperial Troop Transporter, but a specifically different one. I believe that this one is an exclusive that was used or sold, I believe, in Sears or JCPenney. I'm not 100% sure. And it is different. I did not realize this until recently, but there is a difference in the Imperial Troop Transporter that you saw kind of in general stores and the one that was available, I think, in Sears. If I'm wrong on this, I will make a correction on it later, okay? But the big difference is that the electronics are missing. Right? There are no electronics. Okay, there is supposed to be I believe, some type of a lid here, like a red lid, I think. It is not here. I'm assuming it just got lost. It's okay. It does have its little gun and its little steering of the gun. Okay, and here you see on this top there's these six black buttons. Those they don't really do anything in this version. Okay, they took all the electronics out of it. Instead, they are on the original version, the one that was mass produced. They actually pressed button and there was actually little sound clips. Not digital. This is old school, like little scrapey record thing, almost like the pull string toys. And it has two spots in it. Great way to display a lot of figures because you have 6 holes in it and to set figures in, 2 to drive, and you can even store some things on the inside. It's kind of got this version, it just basically has a whole hollow inside. So I saw this and I said, you know what? This is a cool item. I love the fact that it's a very similar version to what was originally done with the Imperial Troops Transporter, but it was different. I wasn't aware that these kind of things didn't all get manufactured the same. Another thing I learned, case in point, and I got to thank places like I'm going to give them shout outs. Retro Blasting is a YouTube channel. Toy Polloi is another one. These are guys that do a lot of restoration and reviewing of old vintage toys. And I did not realize that, I knew that there was a subsidiary of Kenner, or a partner of Kenner in the UK, called Palitoy. And Palitoy just basically made all the toys and distributed them in the UK, I believe. What I did not know is that some of the vehicles were almost the same, but in case of Palitoy, they did not always include the electronics. Like if the X-Wing fighter in the United States had the little, you know, bzz, 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 kind of scrapey laser sound, all the electronics for that were not included in the Palitoy version, so the ship looks slightly different, has a little variation on it. So it's a unique thing. So I've been trying to kind of find decent versions of each of them. But this one itself is pretty good. Aside from missing its cap, it's okay. You know, the labels are stuck on, although they are starting to wear a little bit. The there are replacement labels, and again, those restoration websites can really go a long way in helping you to do it. They even have they even have like downloadable imagery of the labels so that you can print them and reattach them so you can restore toys. But it's great, and this was one of my favorite vehicles as a kid. I don't know why. I think part of it was just that because I could stick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 figures in it, I could just take this with me wherever I went, plus a few in the back, and I'd have like a whole adventure. This was never seen in the movie. A version of it is seen in the cartoon Rebels. In fact, Rebels has done a great job of kind of bringing back some of the old, not seen on camera toys that Kenner created and inserted them into the show. So now they are canon, they are part of the universe. It's really cool. But I always thought this was a really neat one. It does roll on its own. It's a great piece. And even though it doesn't have the electronics, most of the toys from back then are the electronics. That stuff is never meant to last forever. So it fades. And there are ways to restore and everything, and that's great. But this one I'm really happy with, just as is. Maybe if I can try to find the cap for it, I will. But other than that, I'm good with it. So, Philly Fanatic, Darth Plagueis, and the Imperial Troop Transporter from 1978. A very vastly different type of episode, but I hope you enjoyed it. Plenty of more unboxings coming. We still have some more Last Jedi stuff. We still have actually some Forces of Destiny dolls too. I'm sorry, they're not dolls, they're action figures. But we still have a few more of them to open up. I mean, we have some more to do. So keep checking back. And like, subscribe, share, tell people about my channel, please. Comment below if you have any questions or things you need to, you want me to try to put more detail into or whatever. If there's any specific unboxings you'd like me to do. I have had some questions about the Mega Millennium Falcon that just got released. I got to be honest. It ain't going to happen unless somebody donates it. If somebody donates it, I would be happy to do it. I don't want that. I'm not asking you to do it. I'm just saying I can't go out and buy that. It is way too much. And that amount of money could go to so much more other items to unbox. And I'd rather do that than the Lego. But it's a cool toy. I think it's fantastic. I saw it on the toy run and it was fantastic. So, all right. I think that'll be it. So thank you very much. And may the Force be with you.